Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. And in the last episode, guys, we were able to thwart the S&ARP hunter who came after Flint, who was actually another sleeper, which was crazy. Sending sleepers to hunt and kill / capture other sleepers is typical corpo evil. But we were able to take care of that and return back to Oliveira to talk to Karman, who was feeling much better than he was, and he let us know of a plan to potentially take Lane out. Now, Lane is wanting to get in bed with Senatestat, one of the two major corporations, and basically have that corporation's influence over this area of the belt, which you would figure some folks in Upsubo probably would not want that. So we're going to try and find some way to get back onto Darkside, expose Lane, and get this entire situation taken care of. And Flint has joined the crew now too, which is awesome. And we've got 3 experience points left. We just need one more for one more upgrade. I don't know if we're actually going to get that. We only have 2 drives left. But it's time to hit the map, and we are going to travel to the green belt to get this started, which means we got to go to the hollow first. Is something going to happen on the way? Nope. Everything looks good. I'm surprisingly okay with that. Let us get some fuel. Sell processed scrap. You know what? Let's go ahead and sell the processed scrap. How much do we get? 30 cryo. Wow. I mean, we got a lot of mouths to feed right now, so I'm actually surprised that when we got Flint onto the crew, we weren't having to use like scrap components on him. Or on them. But maybe that'll pop up a little bit later as they start to break down. And yeah, we're just going to sell all this. I'm not sure what exactly we'd be using the process scrap for. Hopefully it's not anything that we're going to be needing anytime soon. Signal ship. Sell Solheim data. What do we get here, though? Line arrays. Hollow specialist work. I guess we can try. Let's see what happens. Do we actually get data from this and then we can sell that back? Nope, just cryo. One sec. Ooh, sorry, I've been dealing with a little bit of cough, so I may have to pause every so often. But, okay. Everything's cool over here in the hollow. Pirate radio station is broadcasting. We've done some good work. Let's go ahead and buy a meal, because we definitely have the money now. And let us travel to the Greenbelt. The only thing that I am stressed about is the fact that we have 2 dice here that are at the very edge of life. And if we get into like an endgame scenario, what's going to happen? Because I don't think I'm going to have the ability to fix these dice. Ugh, it's tricky. Now, where do we go? Oh, the wheat sheaf. Talk to Karman. Oh? Get back to Darkside. Oh, we have to wait for Karman's message. Whoops. Well, let's go ahead and track that. I think it's the first time that we've tracked something in this game. Well, we'll buy some gas. There's really nothing here to do to grab cryo. So let's just head here to the rig. We'll feed Jonesy. Not with cryo, but with supplies. Get that supply back with some mushroom farming. Self-sustaining. Yeah, it hurts. We need that. Oh well. And the cycle? At least we can grab food. as our energy goes down. You find yourself in the cockpit, alone with Flint. They have a habit of entering a room so silently that you don't notice them arrive, or the reverse, leaving so silently that you turn around to find them gone. Right now, they hover expectantly at the corner of your vision, preparing to speak. Do you ever think about your original? The way they ask the question, you can tell they've been eager to ask it for a while. The person you're emulated from, I mean. The person who sold themselves, sold you to SNARP. Flint's expression doesn't betray any emotion, but you feel like you can detect some unknowing feeling whirling behind their eyes. Sometimes I can't stop thinking about them, about who they were, and if who I am has anything to do with them. Flint looks away. Is my personality a product of being a sleeper or simply a copy of theirs? Have I changed or am I still identical to them? Does the emulation process, the loss of memory, the insertion into a frame, actually make us totally different people? What came through the process of emulation and what was blocked? Flint is looking around the cockpit rapidly now, their eyes flickering from object to object as they speak. Are their memories still inside me, but cut off? Concealed? And if I admit it, I wonder if I even know what it feels like to be a person. Do the humans around me feel the things I feel? Or do they feel more, feel less, feel somehow differently? Do they feel the creeping claustrophobia of being trapped inside a body with no escape? Flint's eyes flick back to you. Or do only we know how that truly feels? I believe they do. I don't know if it's enough to just believe. Flint meets your eye. I want to know. You're the first sleeper I've met since my escape. We can find out together. I'm gonna trust Flint, and we'll go ahead and share experiences. There's a wall in you, one that you built for yourself. One that separates the kind of questions Flint is asking from the parts of you that you need to live. You feel it now, like a weight in your chest, and behind it, there's a raging torrent pressing against it. You cannot take down the wall. You drown. But in this moment, for Flint and for yourself, you take out a single brick. You make a gap in the wall, and you share what comes bursting forth. You talk about what it feels like to wake up in a dying body, to catch a glance of yourself in a mirror, to be seen and reminded of your false and fractured face. You share the pain of lost memories, of fleeting deja vu, of dreams that slip beneath your waking life and replace it. You find, in your broken bodies and unsteady minds, a kind of solidarity, one shared between connected strangers who might, one cycle, understand each other as friends. As you put the brick back in and shore up your defenses, you know that cycle will not be this one. But its distant possibility is a reassuring one. Oh. Well, that's good, at least. I don't necessarily know what we should be doing here. Maybe we have to not be here when Karman's message comes through. I'll tell you what, let's head to Helion Gate. Why not? Because we definitely can't, we can't go back to Darkside yet. Oh, and there's Karman's message. We've got a message, sleeper. Serafin comes to the bunks to get you, his mood unusually serious. Oops. He brings you to the cockpit, his keepsake coin in his hand the whole time, spinning between his fingers. Serafin is worried. Once you're in the cockpit, you recognize Karman's voice immediately, playing over the rig's speakers. Sleeper, I hope this message finds you and your crew safely. You'll forgive me if I'm a little tight on the details. My message is as follows. We are ready. We'll be waiting where we agreed. Godspeed. The message ends with a click. So, Serafin takes a deep breath. They're waiting in Greenbelt. The wheat sheaf, he said. Whatever that is. You ready for this? We need to prepare. Serafin nods. No point rushing into this. We'll have one shot. Quiet falls in the cockpit. There doesn't seem to be much more to say. Karman will be waiting, but you know he'll want you to be prepared. I'll be ready when you are, Sleeper. Serafin nods to you. You nod back. You know where you need to go to end this. Oh god, okay, so it's happening. I am not sure. Sees cargo, gate structure, the fuel barge. Well, we definitely need to get some more fuel in, so let's do that. Well, we can wait, we can always, yeah, we just need enough fuel to go back to the green belt. We can fuel up to go back to Darkside, I assume. Seized cargo, what else was there? Search for supplies, we don't need that. It's been a while since we've been here. Data scrapping. Oh, this is what we did for the... well, we've got plenty of scrap. Let's just go ahead and use the dice while we have it. Oop, Solheim data. Once again. Lost a little bit of energy there. Oop, okay, we're starving. We got 3 Solheim data, though. I think the only place that we could use that was, back at the Hollow, though, to sell it, because we already did the vending machine. Whoops. Well, here, let's head to the rig and eat some mushrooms. Oh, whoops. Well, that's not good. Well, that's not ideal for us, is it? So let's go ahead and just head to the map. We'll just assume everything's cool. And head back to Greenbelt. We can always rest and get that stress taken care of. Yes, indeed. Okay, to the wheat sheaf. Is that gonna... Meet Karman. Karman said to meet him in the wheat sheaf. All you can do is buy a drink and wait to be called. Yes, but first... Sustenance. Sustenance is important. And gas. Also important. Alright, cool. And if this is the last time that we're going to be able to do this, let's sleep this off. Cool. Use that stress. This may be the last time we get to feed Jonesy, guys. No. It's all right. We got a big crew to take care of Jonesy while we're busy, you know. And get supplies back. Don't know how long we'll be. Alrighty. Let's talk to Karman and get this going. The only thing I'd consider doing is like purposely getting stressed so my dice would break. But that would be kind of an arduous task. Let's just do this. You get Serafin and yourself a drink and begin the wait. The wheat sheaf is surprisingly welcoming for what was once an old Solheim canteen. The corporate bones are still there. Metal stools, a strip of service windows, sheet metal walls. But over the tens of thousands of cycles since the collapse, they've been softened and changed, layered with the detritus of human existence. As you wait at the bar with Serafin, you look at the planters welded into the walls, the scrawled messages, the layers of stickers and flyers and posters, the amber light fittings replacing the old fluorescent strips, the gear racks lined with farmers' packs, the netting bulging with crates and canisters. Along with the low rumble of conversation coming from the off-shift farmers, it all lends a warmth to the place, one that helps soothe your nerves ahead of the meeting with Karman. You and Serafin lean side by side at the bar, facing toward the room. You both watch Flint, just across from you, who insisted on coming along. Serafin clears his throat. What do you think of Cadence? The sudden question makes you look over at him, and you see he's playing with his coin, spinning it in his palm. I like her. Me too. Serafin smiles to himself, closing his hand on the coin. I think... He pauses and then starts again. We kind of have a... thing. He shakes his head. You know what I mean. I noticed. Yeah. He smiles. I thought you might. Well, Serafin sighs and stretches. I guess I just wanted you to know. You're thinking how to respond when the bartender taps you on the shoulder and nods toward the dark door to the back room. It's time. You look over at Serafin and Flint, who's already approaching you. You give them a nod and head inside. The back room is metal-walled and lined with racks of old Solheim tech. You see cookers and auto-wash units piled up with dead terminals and servers. At the far end, a window looks out across the greening glass of Greenbelt's farms. You made it. Karman smiles, backlit by the window. We have a lot to discuss. Good to see you. Flint, if you don't mind. Karman nods at the other sleeper as they enter and gestures toward the door. Flint turns to you. I'll be outside. They slide the door shut, standing guard on the other side. We have to take some precautions, even here. Karman gestures for you to come closer. So, is this plan of yours looking any more reasonable? Well, that depends on what your crew can bring to the table. Karman glances at you. We're going to need to do a lot of work to direct the data Ankita gave you towards those that we need to see it. What do you have in mind? Well, we need to reveal Lane's betrayal to Otsubo and Darkside without being discovered in the process, which is not an easy task. Will they turn on him? Well, hard to tell without us being there. You know better than me how much infighting is going on within Otsubo, but my suspicion is that the recent expansion has stretched them pretty thin. Then we make contact with Ankita as soon as we make it onto Darkside. Serafin looks at you. We just need to stay under Lane's radar. The thought of Lane brings the memory of his attempted takeover to the front of your mind. The feeling of him slipping behind your eyes, moving your frame. That can't happen again. Apologies. We do not wish to interrupt, but we must interject in your current course. Overseer appears in the void, flickering nervously. An encounter with Lane would likely be catastrophic. Overseer's 3 forms orbit you. As we have mentioned, on arrival to Habpep, we must immediately seek the mainframe, from where we can recover my codebase and reconstruct ourselves. We would then be able to aid you in your defenses against being rewritten. This is our recommended course. The 3 heads nod simultaneously and decisively. You still with us, Sleeper? You come back to Serafin's concerned face. You dropped out for a second. Let's explain about Overseer. Let's not hold any secrets. You tell Serafin and Karman about Overseer, about how the old Solheim protocol slipped into your frame from the prime ship mine John Mee used in the diagnostic process, of Overseer's protection from Lane's attempts to control you, of its proposal to make that protection effective through the old mainframe of Darkside. They listen quietly, Serafin carefully watching you as you explain. Revealing all this, you feel the burden of holding that knowledge alone being lifted. Well, this changes things. Karman turns and looks out the large window at the back of the room, toward the glass canopy of the farms. But we can't take on Lane without protecting you from him. Karman turns back. You should look for the mainframe. I'll make contact with Ankita and we'll meet you when you're ready. But this has to remain secret from Lane and Otsubo. If you're revealed, I'm not sure I'll be able to recover you. By the time you've ensured your safety, I'll have put together a plan with Ankita to expose Lane. We'll just take it step by step. The crux will be to find a way to disseminate the data we have on Lane to his gang, or even Darkside at large. Karman stops, the path ahead still unclear to him. There's a nervous intake of breath from Serafin. You share his apprehension. There's so many variables at play here. Some of the old tech strapped to a nearby rack flickers with a cascade of status lights. You all turn to look, and as you do, motors and servos begin spinning with the machines, whining and groaning. Groaning, they harmonize, then begin to produce a voice. Our apologies. The voice is shrill and distorted. We must interpose ourselves. You recognize the tone immediately. Overseer. We are regretful Solheim hardware in this room provided the opportunity for us to speak for ourselves. If the pile of servers Overseer was controlling could look any more apologetic, you imagined it would. I understand. We are... A servo clicks as it skips a rotation. Thankful. We ascertain you require dissemination of data within facility you target. The whine pitches higher as the motors increase their speed. As a Solheim protocol, we have capabilities to instigate station-wide announcements and messaging. So you could blast out Lane's betrayal through Darkside's corporate hardlines and flood the network with it? Serafin looks impatiently at the screeching pile of scrap. If that is what you require of us, we are pleased to serve. The shrill tone of the response makes you cringe. Karman has been listening silently, but now he interjects. And why should we trust you? He glances in your direction. You seem to be a little more than a parasite in the sleeper system. If we use your unflattering analogy, then you will understand that a parasite requires the body of its host to live. The motors stutter. We will ensure the sleeper's continuance. And afterwards? Karman folds his arms. When you have what you want and regain your codebase from the mainframe, will you still do as we ask? We will endeavor to do so. The acrid smell of burning motors now fills the room. But we will undergo a transformative refactoring. We will become whole again, so we cannot speak to our actions in future with certainty. Serafin and Karman exchange concerned looks. We can do what you require. We will protect the sleeper. We will disseminate the data. We are a service protocol. We will serve. The motors and servos shudder and whine, and then go still, the status lights blinking and then fading to darkness. Overseer has retreated. We aren't actually going to do what the ghost says, are we? Serafin looks between you and Karman. Well, the offer's a tempting one, and one that ultimately we cannot refuse. Karman sighs. But we must proceed with extreme care and caution. What do you think, Sleeper? Serafin meets your eye. I trust Overseer. Serafin sighs. Then that's that. Well, we have our plan. Karman turns to you. Sleeper, you and your crew will find the mainframe and access it. I'll find Ankita. She'll help us disseminate the evidence of Lane's collusions through Otsubo, and then as a fallback, Overseer will send it through the old networks to all of Darkside. A simple plan, until you get to the details. Serafin looks down, frustrated. Well, speaking of plans, I have a present for you. One that'll improve our chances. Karman pulls a small box from the nearest rack, one you hadn't noticed before, and it hinges open. revealing a chunk of tech you don't recognize. It's a spoof transponder. It'll conceal the ship on approach to Darkside, give it a new identity, one unlikely to draw attention from the Atsubo-controlled docking admin. Serafin takes the transponder and turns it over. Where did you get this? Even retired mercenaries have their secrets. Karman smiles. Serafin looks to you. I'll be with you this time, Sleeper. He nods. We should think who else we want on the station, too. I agree, Karman interrupts. Make sure you trust those you bring with you, and prepare as best you can. You can't know how this will play out. You nod. You'll get one shot at this. Then we're ready. Karman takes a breath. I have my own way of getting on the Darkside, but here. He passes you a small strip of plastic stamps with numbers. My private frequency. When you're on approach to Darkside, message me here and I'll sync up my transit. He points at the transponder in Serafin's hand. You just make sure to install that first. Serafin nods. We got it. He sighs, the weight of the task ahead suddenly very apparent. Well, I suppose that's it. Karman gives you both a serious look. It is. He smiles. Don't leave me waiting long. There'll be more time when all this is over. Time where you don't have to keep looking over your shoulder, I hope. You leave Karman in the back of the wheat sheaf, Flint sliding open the door as you leave. It takes the entire journey back to the ship for your nerves to settle. The end of this ordeal is so close, and yet it feels like an impossible leap to get there. Perhaps in a handful of cycles, you'll know how impossible, or possible, it is. So, how are we feeling about this Solheim protocol in your head? Serafin doesn't look up from installing the transponder, a set of wires and cables waving loosely around him in the low light of the cockpit. Unsettled. Well, that's one way of putting it. He unscrews a panel beneath the flight console. Maybe you could have mentioned it earlier. Serafin clips his magnetic screwdriver to the side of the console's base and turns to face you, dusting off his hands. I have understood for a while now, Sleeper, that there are things you experience that I can't even come close to knowing how they feel. But that doesn't mean I don't understand you as a person. Serafin gives you a concerned look. I know you're secretive, defensive, and I know there are reasons for that. I also know you're warm and kind and generous to those on this ship with you. Serafin pauses, collecting his thoughts. I trust you, Sleeper, and I won't question this. But please, hold on to what's human in you, because that is what I am holding on to. Serafin stops, his eyes a little wild, his tone a little unsure. Then he finds himself again, settles his emotions, and turns back to the transponder. Right, that's it. He twists something beneath the console. Spoof transponder is in. There's nothing keeping us out of Darkside. You exchange a look. Say the word when you want to go. Oh dear, infiltrate Darkside. And we need to get back to Darkside because we still have the thing with Cadet cracking the drive, don't we? Good God. There's a lot to do. So, I need y'all's opinion. I need y'all to let me know in the comments what we should do. Should we just go ahead and go to Darkside and just let the chips fall where they may? Or should I try to actually, I don't know, like, purposely break my dice and get them repaired and deal with all that and then go to Darkside? We're not under any kind of time limit right now, so we could prepare ourselves by breaking ourselves. And I could do that off camera and then be prepared for that. But just let me know in the comments, okay? This is a good place to go ahead and call it an episode, and I look forward to seeing what y'all think. But I hope y'all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. I will see you next time. Later days, everyone.